Solow Sportsters, welcome back for another video, another play test. Behind my back, I have a heavily requested, anticipated racket. That is the Yonex E Zone 98 Generation 11 2025. Whatever you want to call it, you're dying to see it and we won't have you wait any longer. Review coming right now. For this play test, we incorporated one of Yonex's newest popular strings in the Yonex Poly Tour Rev. This is a shaped polyester, a softer feel. It has control, it has power, it has feel, it has spin, it has it all, and that is the versatility that we want in this E Zone racket. So we strung it a little bit lighter at 52 pounds. It comes in this teal colorway that hits some of the accents and some of the pops on the racket. But don't worry, it also comes in a purplish, orangish, blackish color. So if you don't like what we chose, feel free to take it into your own hands with your E Zone. The Yonex E Zone 98 Generation 8 has a head size of 98 square inches and an unstrung weight of 305 grams, equaling 10.8 ounces. The swing weight is 320, putting the balance at the 12.8 inch mark, making it 6 points head light on this standard length 27-inch frame with a variable beam of 23.8 by 24.5 by 19.5 millimeters. The string pattern is an open 16 by 19 and the stiffness is a softer 63 RA. Grip sizes available are 1/8 through 1/2 and the Yonex synthetic grip is stock on the handle with this new blast blue colorway. The cosmetic on this racket is, well, I'll be polite, different. I don't know if I like it or dislike it yet, but it is not that traditional blue that you're seeing in all of the power rackets. In fact, I think almost all of the brands are incorporating this new lighter blue, whether it be the Pure Drive, the E Zone like you see here, or sneak peek, the Instinct coming out soon. But it has more of that aqua, that Asia Pacific type of vibe that Yonex inherits and does so well with the brand. It is lighter, it is glossy, it has more of a pop, and I don't know if that is the color that is on discount at the factory and all these brands are taking it, or if this is the color that's hot on the runways of Paris for Fashion Week, or just something nice incorporated in the racket, but it is different. Tech-wise, in this racket, you're gonna have all of the greats from Yonex. You're gonna have that VDM, vibration dampening mesh. You're going to have that isometric head shape where you get a larger sweet spot of a bigger racket head, but that more control of a smaller racket head together in this isometric kind of squared off racket shape. And you have the excellent graphite and carbon that go into it. But this year, they're adding Minolan. And what is Minolan? Well, one, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but two, it's a new material made by worms. It's special worms that make a special fabric, a special weave, a special material that essentially makes this racket softer and more connected. So bet you weren't guessing that that's what they did this year, but be prepared to get more feel from your E Zone. When it comes to the update of this racket compared to previous generations and how it plays from the baseline, I think that this racket had control with elements of power versus last year's generation that had power with elements of control. And wait, before you go anywhere, I'm gonna explain. It's basically that this racket has more of an emphasis on control, and when you rank up those miles per hour, when you add a little bit more pop to your swing, you're gonna see great results. In the previous generations, it had that stiffer feel, which was powerful, had tons of pop, but that 98 square head honed it in and added control. So hopefully I'm getting that across to you guys of really explaining how it has much more of a control vibe and a tamed down feel in this year's version, but it still has elements of power, so don't worry. If you are out there watching this review, you are likely deciding between the E Zone 100 and the E Zone 98. And having play tested both of those, which if you haven't seen our other review, click that link. We have done them both, And I think there is a bigger difference, more so than the specs describe on this racket. So there is that small weight difference of 5 grams or like 2% or less, which is tiny. There's that tiny head size difference between the 100 and the 98, again, about a 2% difference. But I have to stress that with this 98 racket, you are gonna get far more control with some components of power. You're gonna get a more driven ball, a more penetrating shot. You're gonna get a tinier sweet spot, although it has that isometric sweet spot to give a bigger one, which is massive on the 100. It is manageable on the 98, and you're gonna get more of a connected feel on this racket versus that cushy ride on the 100. So if you're between the two rackets, certainly demo them, certainly try them, check out our reviews, and I think the story is bigger than the specs would have you believe. This racket is an all-court use weapon, and it was great at the net. I found that anywhere I aimed this racket, I was getting a driven volley, finishing the point on my terms exactly the way I wanted. So it was quite maneuverable. I was able to get to more volleys. The sweet spot and the response was excellent. So if I had an off-center hit or a tough dig or a high stick, it still made it. I kept everything in play, and I was really placing the ball much better than I would expect with a power racket of this nature. So don't sleep on this racket. It can be your all-court weapon. Match play was very nice with the E Zone 98. It is a versatile racket, and I found myself incorporating tons of variety into my points. So starts off right with the serve, flatten them out down the tee, kick them out wide, move my opponent, whatever it was, the racket had me covered. Secondly, from the baseline, whether I was hitting 2-hand backhands, 1-hand backhands, topspin forehands, flatten forehands, this racket had it all. And then if I wanted to chip a couple slices, slow down the point, add some arc and spin, whatever it was, the racket was there for me. And then finally finishing it up at the net, whether it was a short ball, a half volley, a volley, a sitter, an overhead, it had me covered. So definitely it has a wide range of shots that it hits well. And if you hit a wide range of shots in your game, you're gonna be happy that you chose this racket. All right, guys, we are at the end of the video, but before you click out, I'm asking for 2 things, just 2 easy things. Number 1, look at this guy right here. Is he missing a shot? Zoom in. Did he just shank it? Been watching him all day, he's struggling. Number 2, hit that subscribe button. We have new videos coming every week. We wanna see you, we wanna hear from you, and we're gonna see you in the next video.